What's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy Norms, and this is the 10-8 podcast, and we are live right now on Twitter, um, on Twitter X, YouTube, and Instagram Live. If you want to check it out, go to my Instagram at StreetStar NORBE, on my Twitter, the same one, and also my YouTube at the Norms and On Network. Make sure you share, like, hit the notification button, and let's get busy. Fatal Fury weekend has come and gone. I have a lot of reactions. A lot of people hitting me up talking nonsense right now. I got to deal with this shit. Bud Crawford's holding hands with Saudi with the Saudi prince, and he's gonna be so much better. Look what Skull did for 12 rounds. Skull ran for 12 goddamn rounds and didn't interact. But of course, people are gonna call that the boxing clinic. There was a lot of running done this weekend. Excuse me, I got a little sore throat. Jesus Christ, boxing was very interesting. Was Fatal Fury a success? Was it not? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I feel like it got the attention that people wanted, but the result, in my opinion, was definitely very weird. It's very I don't know, man. It just wasn't what everyone expected. Having said that, boxing definitely has showed the potential to have everyone locked in. Um, it was an overall good weekend, in my opinion, for the sport. I was entertained, and now we have a couple of big matchups set up. Now, do we want these matchups? One of them was announced last night, September 12th. The King Canelo will be fighting Bud Crawford at 168 pounds for Canelo Alvarez's undisputed championship middleweight belts. A lot of people hit me up last night. Oh God, Bud's gonna be just so much better. Look what he did. Whatever, Skull. I mean, listen, Skull ran for 12 rounds. That is what it is. Canelo pretty much came out and said, it wasn't the performance he expected. Somebody bring up the time difference. I think it was like 7 a.m. over there. Very tough time. And I remember going to London, and London's a 5-hour difference from where I was at, and really feeling the difference. And I was there for like 2 weeks. So that entire time I was struggling with the schedule out there. Your body just don't kind of regulate things over there. But anyways, we did get the announcement of Canelo Alvarez finally with Terrence Bud Crawford. And I think Terrence Crawford has gained a lot of fans in regards to the belief that he will win this fight. The interesting thing that I did see is that what I've been telling everybody for the longest, Bud is going to be the bigger man. Physically, he is the bigger man physically. People don't want to give Canelo his credit, but at the end of the day, he's fighting up in a division with killers, and that's the difference. And when you fight guys that are up in that division, and you're about 5'7", you're gonna run into these Williams Skulls that are 6'3" and mobile and things of that nature. So this is gonna be an interesting fight. I think the betting odds are gonna be a lot closer than what people think. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo is going to be a favorite come September. But yeah, the fight has been set. Also, another fight that people were rumoring to be set, which was Ryan Garcia versus hold on. For him, hold on. Sorry about that. Is the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney bouts, which they both laid an egg this weekend. Ryan Garcia taking a loss to Rolly Romero, and yeah, that was tough. That was extremely tough to witness. Very disappointing if you're part of the Ryan Garcia camp, and it was definitely something that was disappointing. Also, Devin Haney puts on an excellent dance clinic. His audition for Dancing with the Stars was aired on Friday evening. did an excellent job of break dancing, tap dancing, whatever you want to call it. And now the question is, do we want to see the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney? For me, it's a no. Just not a no. I'd like to see both those guys get some redemption and hype up the fight. I'd like to see them take another fight. Or where are we in May? Can they fight in August and possibly get the rematch if it's actually worth it for November? Or is Turkey going to pull the trigger and hold hands with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia in the ring and make it and force feed us this matchup that I don't know if anybody after this weekend wants to see. I was definitely not entertained. Other fights did not live up to it. And outside of Teofimo, I do want to see the Teofimo match. He hinted at, not hinted, he said flat out that they're talking about him versus oh, look at this guy right here. Said Haney put on a boxing clinic.
Excuse me, but I think a modicum of gratitude would not be out of line.
What in the? If that was a boxing clinic, I will not be tuned in to any Devin Haney clinics ever again. Again, I'm going to be very highly critical of that fight. It was absolute dog shit. I've definitely expected more from Haney, and people are bombing on him on the internet. I don't want to see the rematch at this point. I mean, after what I just saw with Devin Haney, I feel like he's a damaged fighter. I feel like he's scared to get hit. He's Adrian Broner 2.0. But this time, instead of he's not letting his hands go, he's dancing. At least Adrian didn't dance. He just didn't throw any punches and relied on the shoulder roll. So to me, I'm just being 100% honest at this point. There's a lot to be fixed at this point in regards to people wanting to actually see that fight. Now, again, does the drama of the past year help sell that fight? That's going to be the question. Turkey's done an excellent job in regards to trailers and things of that nature. I'm expecting multiple trailers to drop. One from the big announcement with Canelo and Bud Crawford. I'm expecting a lot of trailers for that. That's going to be, in my opinion, the matchup where Turkey believes that he is going to make back some of the money that he's lost in these recent events. So I'm expecting a blitz of promo coming up. Now, how will Saul? I mean, what is it? What we got? September. So we're in May. We got June, July, August. Is he going to be prepared? Is he going to be prepared? Is Bud Crawford going to AKA Devin Haney the situation? I don't believe so. I think my opinion, I think he's going to let his hands go a little more. Will he put himself in danger with Canelo? That seems to be. I mean, that's going to be the question in that fight. Again, there's going to be a lot of people that got Bud Crawford. Boots Ennis versus Teofimo Lopez. I'm not gonna lie, it's a tough one for me, man. I'm a big Teofimo fan. I like Boots. I'm a big Boots guy. I think Boots has it all. Is Teofimo ready for that type of challenge? I mean, it's not necessarily even a challenge. There's a size difference, in my opinion, in regards to how much bigger Boots Ennis actually is than him, than Teo. And my biggest question with Teo is, and this is being honest, his power has not translated from 135. He was a bigger puncher at 135, but at 140, I don't even know if he has any knockouts at 140 at this point. And to me, Teo's sting has lost a lot, but he still has that freakish athletic ability, great boxing talent. But again, at the end of the day, will he be able to sustain the much bigger Boots Ennis? And Boots Ennis has a crazy offensive game. I think it's a win-win for Boots Ennis. I don't believe that Teo can hurt him, to be honest with you. And I think this is the situation. I mean, he can try to walk through him and put on a performance similar to what he's done to other fighters. Now, will Teo's boxing ability, his athleticism, be enough to beat someone of someone like a Boots Ennis? It seems to be it's a hard sell for me. I don't have him beating him, but I definitely look forward to the matchup. And you got to take your hat off to Teofimo Lopez in regards to making this happen. The guy wants the big fights. He wants the big money. You know what I mean? I respect it. You know what I mean? But sometimes all money ain't good money, and I think T.O. should not take this fight. I think T.O. should stay at 140 and try to continue and maybe take a Richardson Hitchens. But is T.O. facing chasing the bag? Yeah, I mean, this seems to be the thing with me, but I think he's put himself in harm's way, and don't believe he's going to translate well to 147. And I'm a TO guy. I am a TO fan. I would prefer to see him stay at 140 a couple more years, but apparently this fight is on the table. What other big fights have been announced? And by the way, we have my man uh, Dominique Francis tonight. Well, not tonight, today, this morning with an interview. He has not checked in yet. I'm still waiting on him. But yeah, got my man early up in the building. My man, what's his name? What the fuck is this guy's name? Um, got on locals in the building super early. You know what I mean? Hitchens will skill To easy work. I don't know about easy work, man. There's a lot of easy work. I don't know. I never believed you. I mean, and again, I think Hitchens is a very good fighter, very good boxer. Uh, not as mobile as most. Really controls you with his jab. Can that jab nullify everything that Teofimo brings to the table? It's going to be an interesting fight. I do think Hitchens has a very good chance of defeating Teofimo Lopez, but will and this is another thing with that, and I like Hitchens. Hitchens is a very slow starter. Um, Tio is very athletic and get in and out. Not the biggest puncher, Hitchens. So I don't know. We're gonna see with that fight. I mean, it's a good fight, but it seems as if that's not gonna happen. I think Hitchens just actually signed to fight Cambosis, which I believe Cambosis is he is what he is right now. He's the Brooklyn Brawler. He's someone that's there to build profiles at this point. I expect Hitchens to win that. But I don't know. I don't think Hitchens is going to 147. Oh my God, Ash is in the building. Shout out to my girl Ash. Tio versus Haney. No, Ash. I'm sorry. I don't want to see anything with Haney at this point. I want to see Haney get back to what Haney does. I mean, after watching what I saw, I was. I mean, maybe I'm in the twilight zone because my man Cano says it was a boxing clinic. It was an amazing performance. I didn't get that. I got a guy that was petrified in the ring, and I don't think he's mentally there. That's just me. I mean, maybe I'm tripping. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm completely wrong. But Tio versus Haney is not something that I want to see right now. Just not. I mean, I don't want to see Tio having to put on his rocket boosters to chase him the entire fight and not throw any punches. So to me, I'd like to see Devin take another fight. Make sure he's maybe that was just a one-time thing. My man Cano Loco says, and I quote, "That was set for that fight. He was fighting a dangerous fighter, and he wanted to stay away from this. And this is, I mean, if that's the way he chose to fight that fight, um, that was a very awkward choice in my opinion. So, Haney versus Tio right now, absolutely not. Not after what I just saw this weekend. To be honest with you, I don't think it would be a good fight. It would have been a good fight when Devin was confident to be in there, but not right now. Oh my God, please. Everyone, gosh, you're saying it right. Everybody's performance sucked this weekend. It was absolute dog shit. And this is another thing that I have an issue with. These fights in the UK, I mean, not UK, in Saudi Arabia, you know, I just sent this fucking guy a link. Oh my God. Sorry about that. The time difference is fucking ridiculous for the fighters. Can you imagine? For us, it wasn't that bad last night because it's kind of similar to what we're used to. But imagine the fighters living out there and fighting literally at 6 or 7 in the morning. Can out there, and people can say, "Well, they're from over here. They should be." Said, no, bro. When your body sees that sun, when your body sees certain things, it's trained to go to sleep, to do something. I don't like the fights being in Saudi Arabia. I just don't. The element, nothing about it. It's cool, coming out, but the shit is empty. These fighters are sitting there like completely changing the climate, everything. I don't like it. I think if if Turkey's going to continue to push the shit, it's got to be in America. Get your money and go back. I know you don't want to pay those American taxes, but please, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's fucking terrible, man. Terrible. There was nobody in there for a Canelo fight, pretty much. I mean, I think he was fighting. He said he was fighting like at 6 a.m. Um, in Saudi Arabia. How fucking crazy is that? I remember going to, like I said, I remember going to London. Fucking guy. I remember going to London and hold on. I remember going to London and it's a 5-hour difference. And I just remember not being able to be adjusted the entire time I was there. It was just horrible for me. It was one of those things where I was just like, dude, I couldn't get used to it. Like, I'm waking up fucking hours later, getting up, going out, and it really affected my body. And I was out there for about 2 weeks, which I think is pretty much what these fighters are out there to get acclimated to that. But I just don't think you get acclimated to that. I don't like it. You know what I mean? The food's going to be different. Everything's going to be different when you're out there. People may say, oh, no, well, they have personal chefs. Well, there's different bacteria. There's different things that you got to deal with when you're out of the country, when you're out of your element. And you got to get out there 2 weeks in time. I don't like it. I really don't. I think Turkey needs to do these events over here. I would rather see fights in the UK. They show up and show out. When it comes to sports, I mean, it's only it's a 5-hour difference, so you can kind of manipulate the time a little bit, even maybe cut it in half and whatnot. But when you're in Saudi, I think it was like in Saudi Arabia, I think it was like 6 a.m. when Canelo went out there to fight. That's got to be rough, man. It's fucking terrible. Terrible. I mean, the UK is dope because it's so. Let's say right now it's hold on, it's 10:30, right? Say it's 11. It's 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be 4 o'clock. So you could cut that in half and maybe start a little earlier or start a little bit later and kind of manipulate it. But with the Saudi situation, it's fucking insane. Let me tell you, what time is it in Saudi Arabia right now? Let me look this up for you guys right now. What time is it in Saudi Arabia? It is 5:30 p.m. right now in Saudi Arabia. Right. So 5:30. What time is it? So we got 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:35. It's a 7-hour difference. So Canelo fought yesterday at 11, about 12 o'clock, and it was 7 a.m. Fucking 7 a.m. last night. That is absolutely fucking ridiculous. To be fighting at 7 a.m. in Saudi Arabia. Who the fuck stays up? Why what event would be there, would be ready? Who the fuck is staying up to 7 a.m. to watch Canelo fight? I'm sure not if I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm not. Fuck that. I'm leaving. I'm out. That's crazy. 7 hours is absolutely insane. Jesus Christ! Canelo was fucking. I mean, he looked like he was sleepwalking through the whole fight. This fucking guy's skull was fucking running. I'm not fucking. I'm not chasing this fucking guy. That's a big fucking dancer. Jesus Christ! Waiting for my man Dominique to get on right now. Dominique Francis. He's taking a long time at this point. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Please share, like, hit the notification button. Yeah, it's Fatal Fury weekend. Just happened this weekend. I don't know, man. It was just too much, man. This is not like wrestling, boxing, man. You gotta kind of just space this shit, dude. Like, just too much going on. Too fucking much. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of that. Like, I was just too much. I didn't. Matter of fact, I think Anyway fights tonight. Fucking Jesus Christ. Sometimes it's just too much boxing. This is too much right now. There's way too much boxing going on for me at this point. This is fucking crazy. What did you think about Skull performing on the screen? Pissed off. All he did was run to make it to the third. Yeah, I mean, listen, and this is what irritates me about fans. Fans will take a W however it is. And I was watching that fight, and I was just like, yo, this guy is way too. And it's crazy if you think about it. Canelo's about 5'7", not national division, and these guys are fucking running from him. And this was a very athletic guy where he can run, throw one or two punches here and there, and people are. It's a master class. Listen, bro, this is boxing. When Muhammad Ali did it in the 60s, he was doing it with stuff behind it. He wasn't running to run or to survive. It just gets to the point where it's like, yo, like, can we just start deducting points for not being active at all? Like, it was just that. I was definitely upset about it, and it's crazy because a lot of people are now like, shit. If he did that, imagine what Bud's gonna do. If Bud does that, let's all think about it. Bud is not 6'3", so 6'2", whatever it is, right? He's a big guy. Well, he's about a little taller than Canelo. It's a different situation. I've never seen Bud fight like that. And if he does, I'm just gonna turn off the TV and go to sleep because if somebody's gonna get evicted like that, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But I just don't see Bud doing that. Bud doesn't fight that way. I don't think Bud can hurt Canelo. But let's see if he sits there and mixes it up with the likes of Canelo Alvarez. Our guest is in the effing building.
Yeah.
Dominique, Trapp Francis, what's good, my brother?
What's going on? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, man. We're live right now on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. There's about 100 and some people in here right now and growing. What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Thank you for having me on your platform, man.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Did you get to catch Fatal Fury weekend?
I caught it. I caught I caught the Fatal Fury weekend was from how it was in my opinion how it was advertised and stuff and promoted and stuff like that was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
But I don't take nothing away from those fighters. They did what they did. But just from how everything was advertised and everything like that, it was just a bit underwhelming. I from my impression, I got that it was going to be a free event for the the public, but when you seen it on the fight, it was like a big red barrier like blocking getting it was just invitation only. But it was just a bit underwhelming though.
No, and the crazy thing is, I remember when it was announced and people say it's open to the public. I'm like, there's no way. New York City's going to be It's going to be insane. Like, I don't know. You're from Miami. I mean, you live in Miami, whatnot. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and anything that's free, everybody's outside. And I'm just like, bro, it wouldn't. To shut down Times Square on a regular Friday, it's going to be impossible. But I never expected that to happen. But I was very surprised at how the fighters fought the fight, and of course you're a fighter and stuff like that. The elements changed, and I see Ryan Garcia talk about him hearing everybody in the crowd and those things affecting him mentally. Is that even possible that just the environment changes like that, and what you're accustomed can affect your performance? How did you feel about those comments that Ryan made?
A lot of these guys tailor-made. You know what I'm saying? They started off in the game and they had everything handed to them. You know what I mean? Plus, you got somebody like me that go to Colombia, that go to Mexico City, that go to Argentina.
Yeah,
you can hear everybody in the crowd. Sometimes like you're fighting in a damn. You fighting at the same time where they watching them kids at the daycare. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these fighters, they tailor-made. They never been through adversity. They never been through uncomfortable situations. So if that's your excuse, you know what I mean? If that's your excuse, you got a long road ahead of you, and you don't really deserve where you at. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. You got certain people that's like, they cut from a different cloth. It don't matter who in the crowd, it's tunnel vision. Certain people ain't gonna be no who in the crowd, because while whatever who in the crowd, it's always gonna be people in that crowd, a lot or a little bit. It really don't matter about the quantity. You know what I mean? But you got a job to do, and that's all that matters. You got a job to do. So that's That excuse is poor.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of my people that called up, my man Gerald McCoy, he's been a pro athlete for years, all pro, and he actually made a comment exactly what you said. He said the mental toughness you have to be able to. And I remember in the NFL when they had COVID, people were playing with nobody in the stadium, and he's like, you have to have a mental toughness. You have to focus on the person in front of you and beating them. And he said that Ryan lacked that. And it was funny because Ryan pretty much said the same thing in the press conference. And, that's amazing to say that because he said the same thing. You got to have tunnel vision. And some guys are handed things, and you haven't been handed things. You're actually a free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
When you've been boxing since 10 years old, over 100 amateur fights,
Mm-hmm.
and you fight in a division where there's smoke at 130 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Speak on the unlevel playing field, because I think a lot of people think that when you're a pro, right, unlike the NFL, unlike baseball, unlike soccer, whatever, you get drafted and you're getting paid immediately. In boxing, a lot of guys have multiple jobs, still trying to train, still trying to do this, and there's other guys that again are spoon fed in a sense. They don't have to work; they can just focus on the gym. Speak on the disadvantages of it and the adversities that you've had to face coming up, doing what you had to do.
It's a lot of adversities and trials and tribulations. You got a lot of thoughts that are coming. That's like when you hear a lot of people's stories. Just like Danny Garcia, he was at a point where he was signed with Golden Boy,
Yeah, yeah,
20 and 0, and was thinking about stopping to become a firefighter. To make ends meet. You have a lot of
it's
stories
crazy.
like that with a lot of fighters. You have a lot of stories like that with a lot of fighters. Me, it's always a time where you got to make ends meet. You got to think about certain things to do, find different hustles and stuff like that. You can't put you got to still be focused on your thing. And then while you got your egg in different baskets, because you still got life out here to sustain. You
Yeah,
still got life out here to do. As a fighter, as an athlete, you could go in there, fight, spar, train, tear a ligament. Something just don't, something go right. You break an arm, break a hand, or have a career in an injury. Now what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? You were so infatuated and thinking about just as one aspect of your life.
mm-hmm.
You didn't cover other ends. So now when this happened, you have people going into depression. They want to commit
Mm.
suicide. They'll have mental health problems that they facing. You know what I mean? Because it's actually life outside of here. We fighters, we athletes, but we still have life outside of the ring, life outside of the field, life outside of the court. So it's a lot of trials and tribulations that we'll all face, man. But this is what, like, when they see us on TV and they see us perform,
Mm.
this is why I say, like, when they see me, it's not just you seeing somebody who's just an athlete. You seeing somebody who triumphed over all trials and tribulations. You know what I mean? And still make it happen.
It's crazy you say 20 and 0.
Mm,
20 fights and still considering being a firefighter is absolutely insane.
it's
And
insane.
and another thing is, not being with the priority of one of these major promotional companies, whether it be Top Rank or Golden Boy. A lot of times, you guys get a call. Hey, you got 2 weeks to crack weight. You got
Yeah,
two
yeah,
weeks to do this. I mean, talk about that. I mean, because that
yeah,
that to me, I think people don't understand. 2 weeks to get ready
yeah.
for a guy that's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, please elaborate on that.
I mean, that's my whole career. I'm
Wow.
16 and 0, and that's my whole career. I
Mm,
never had I never had a camp, an extended camp. That's why I would just stay in the gym and stay in some shape. I never had that. I would get my opponents get changed 3 4 times, and the week of my fight, my opponent get changed, and I gotta get ready for a whole nother opponent within a week time span.
mm-hmm.
So like that meant my whole career. This is all a mental game. You have to have mental fortitude. Like what this boxing taught me is like how to you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adapt. If you're not able to adapt in uncomfortable situations, you gonna sink. You know what I mean? Because it's like nothing. Like I say, I didn't have a silver spoon. Nothing. I wasn't spoon fed. It was very hard, very gritty, very mucky from where I come from, especially from being from the South. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, Miami, Opelika, Florida. It ain't no fighters and no boxers really coming out of a place like this. What I mean? You have a lot of talent coming from Florida. That's in football, basketball, and stuff like this, and in boxing, but they don't look at that. See the West, the North, and what I mean. All them dudes in New York and all them dudes in New York, Vegas, and Cali. They don't look down to Florida and Miami. They want to come down here to to benefit, the weather, the party life and stuff
Yeah.
like this, but they don't look at the talent that's down here. You know what I mean? You'll have people that's like that really come down here all the time, like, or that was raised down here, like
Mm,
Teofimo Lopez,
yeah.
don't you know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing for us down here. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Even as small as just a shout out. Know what I mean? Small as a shout out. That's all it takes. You know what I mean? But a lot of these people in Boston, they want you to kiss up under them and kiss their ass, and you know what I mean, just ride their coattail for no reason, and play the middle, and play the back seat. You know what I mean? So it's that's my whole career, man. Never had like a camp, but you gotta stay ready, man. You gotta stay ready.
And it's unfortunate too because in boxing, the O is so valued, right? So you're 16 and 0. Imagine if you were 16 and 1. I'm just saying how much more difficult it would be for you to get fights.
Yeah.
And again, and I don't think people understand this. Being self-promoted, you pretty much have to find ways to get your own fights. I had my man Outlaw on here recently, and he started promoting his own fights out of DC because he was like, "Why am I putting all this money into promoters' pockets when I can just pretty much sell these tickets on my own and do my own thing?" How difficult is it even to get a fight? And we're talking about a stacked division. 130 is a stacked division.
130 is a stat division. It's tough to get fights, different, especially when it comes down to the business, the money, locking down an opponent, the promotion card that you got to fight on, dealing with the matchmakers. It is a lot of work that you got to go through, and it's sad. You already beat down mentally before you even worry about your camp. You already beat down mentally before you even worry about your fight. So
Yeah.
it's a funny game right now, man. It's a funny game right now. It's a funny game right now.
You know what blew my mind? I was interviewing my man Iceman Scully, right? And he starts talking about how they do the rankings. And I see you're ranked number 10 right now
Mm-hmm.
at 130 pounds, right? And he said even that is a shit show. He said people, your promoters, your managers have to go and pretty much vouch for your spot. Go out to Vegas. And how difficult is it to even get, for the rankings and to get where you probably should be placed in these situations?
That right there, like you said, it's a shit show. Like one thing about boxing, money talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money talk. You'll see one day somebody could be in a whole other division, or not even ranked. The next thing you know, they rank number 5. And you put in the work to be ranked number 10. You put in all the work to be ranked what you rank. You should be you are that mandatory. You should be looked at. You should get these fights. But these people, money talk, they know the right people, whatever like that. They get put over you when you've been putting in the real groundwork. You've been putting in the real work for years, but they're gonna keep stepping over you, keep stepping over you, keep stepping over you. So
Yeah. People don't even understand that. Like I sit there and I'm like, yo, and I feel for a lot of you guys
mm,
because I mean, and then it's easy to duck you guys. It's easy to say, you know what,
very
I'm not gonna mention Dominique Trapp Francis. I'm just bypass him. The guys that you're scheduled to fight, I mean, or should be fighting in the top 10. Are you getting the opportunities? And even then, when you do it, it's usually pennies or stuff like that. How's that going right now for you?
right now. The guys who we will want to fight and stuff for that, we're not getting those opportunities. You know what I mean? So we just really want to stay active. You know what I mean? We just really want to stay active, keep putting on performances and good performances as that. Stay in front of these people's eye. Boxing, and not even just boxing, but today's how things go today. Everybody has short attention span. You know what I mean? Everybody's one hit wonders. You know what I mean? So if you're not in these people's eye constantly, they're gonna see another clip online. They're gonna see another fighter that just came out of woodworks. They're gonna see somebody else who got their attention. So you gotta stay in front of these people's eyes. So that's what we trying to do. You know what I mean? That's the plan right now. We want to stay in front of these people's eyes and stay on the right shows, get on the right cards. You know what I mean? That's what's really been hard to get on these right cards. That's bringing the right attention. You understand? So that's the momentum that we're on.
No, absolutely. Let's take it back. Let's learn about you real quick.
Yeah.
Um, you've been boxing since 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
Um, you turned pro, I think, at 18, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep.
Now you went from 126. I mean, give us your early like what made you actually, and again, some people want to grow up to be like Mike. Some people want to grow up to be like LeBron now for some strange reason. What made you actually want to get into the sport that is not as glamorous as many people may believe.
It was my cousin. My cousin was a fighter. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't a fan of boxing. I'm not a boxing fan. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm not just somebody who, grew up in this. Damn, I'm infatuated with this sport. First I thought it was fake. You know what I mean? I asked my dad, is it fake? Like, was it gloves? They making a sound? Is it pillows? Like, what is this? I didn't understand it.
Hmm.
I was playing football, and I was really raw at football. You know what I mean? And then a guy that played for my football team, his father was actually my first coach brother. So we was able to get connected like that. And mind you, I said my cousin was a fighter first, and I was infatuated with everything he did.
Hmm.
So I wasn't a fan of the sport, even now to this day, I watch stuff, I do my homework, but being a fan of the sport, I'm not a fan of the sport. You know what I mean? I'm not even really like a sports guy. I don't know anything about basketball. I don't know anything about football.
Really?
But I don't know anything about, like, for real. The most thing that I know is boxing because I'm in it, so I do more homework. I do my homework.
Hmm.
But like sports guy, I'm not really a sports guy. So I started at 10 years old, turned 11. Within my first 2 months of boxing, I had my first fight, and ever since my first year of boxing, I was number one in the region, number one in the state, number two in the nation, and then ever since then I was number one. You know what I mean? Then, like, I won seven national titles. I've been decorated. I fought against the best. I've been amongst the best. Like, shake hands with Shakur. Like, we shaking hands with Shakur Stevens, Keyshawn Davis, Tevin Farmer. Been amongst Floyd and the Russell brothers and stuff like that. Everywhere, got a lot of experience. I've been traveling from Florida, been all the way to Philly, Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Big Bear, California, training with Charles Martin and Andy Reese, actually sparring Tevin Farmer as well,
Hmm.
getting Teofimo ready for the Olympics. He getting me ready for the Junior Olympics. I won gold in that. So I have a ton of experience, man. I'm supposed to be way further than what I am right now, but I'm trusting the journey.
Why do you feel like you're not as further as you should be, being as decorated as you are? Is it because you're not signed to a major promotional company?
I feel like that has a thing to do with it, but I don't feel like that's everything because you got people to promotional companies, that name ain't popping either. You know what I mean? Like, when it come down to what people need, what's sellable, what's marketable, I have all that. I got charisma. What I mean, I got the stage, I got the face, I got the look, I got everything. What I mean? I don't have to be sold. What I mean? I don't have to be sold. You understand what I'm saying? Like, um come with a lot behind me, a lot of entertainment, 'cause I do music as well as too. What I mean? But like, I feel like I say, the eye that they're not really looking at the talent from South Florida. What I mean? They're not really looking at the talent from South Florida, and from South Florida ain't sticking together. So it's hard.
How do you, I mean, have you had the opportunity to sign to a major promotional company? And if you did, why did you say, you know what, let me go a different route with it? And you did bring up a good point because there is guys that are signed that are just sitting there.
hmm I had when I first started, it was like PVC, and then Talk Ring in my very beginning of my career. But at that time we turned it down because it wasn't a time yet. My body wasn't developed, stuff like that. I was very young. You know how that stuff be when they throw you in there prematurely, and let's say you have performances that you don't like, they quick to give you a pink slip. You know what I mean? So that's what happened.
I know pro box is giving a lot of people a lot of opportunity. Is that something? What do you feel about pro box? And I know Trevor McCummy came out of there, Lamont Roach has come out of there. I want to say Tierra Brown, I'm not 100% sure, but there are a lot of people that are trying to come out of pro box. Is that something that maybe you're interested in? Have they approached you? Have you been on there?
Yeah, Pro Box definitely did approach. Like, Pro Box definitely did approach, and it's in my backyard because they in Tampa, kissing me or
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
They right in my backyard. You know what I mean? Like I say, man, if everything makes sense, we right there. I'm right there at you. You know what I mean? Everything makes sense. I'm right there at you. Like, can't nobody throw anything that just don't make sense. You know what I mean? That just don't make sense, and that's a lot of stuff that you would hear out here now. With a lot of fighters are saying stuff like that, like they kind of get into like crazy contract deals and stuff like that to get held where they don't need to be held at. So everything makes sense. Like we there because Pro Box definitely is doing their thing. They got a good platform. They got a good streaming platform. A lot of people came out of there, like you say, Lamont Roach. What's the other guy?
I'm coming came out of it as well. You know.
Exactly. Then you got the other WBO World Champion 126,
Mm-hmm.
130. I feel, you know what I mean.
Okay.
People coming up.
Not. I would say Najee. Najee's 168.
Oh yeah, Nachi Lopez. That's my guy, man.
Yeah.
That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my brother right there. Nachi Lopez. Rest in peace to his father and his brother Hakeem Lopez. We know the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's my peoples over there, man.
I mean, it is tough. I mean, again, there's a lot of names. You got a Chucky Foster at 130. My favorite at 130 is Navarrete. I love Navarrete. Uh, there's a lot of guys in that division. Who are you targeting? Who's been approached for you to fight right now? I mean, let me know. Who do you want to fight at 130 right now?
Shit, it don't matter. I know, they say you got, like you say, Navarrete. You got Oceanique Foster. You have Raymond Ford. You have
Oscar Valdez. Yep.
Oscar Valdez. That's a good name. You have you have names. You know what I mean? You have names at 130, and I think they say, what's his name? Stephen Fulton is coming up to 130.
Yes.
Stephen
Yep.
Fulton is coming up to 130. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I like, what I'm saying? I like the ice this cool, the cool way out. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So like it's names up there and stuff like that. I definitely like to mix in with them guys because I'm definitely on a level in a talent as that. They just ain't seen yet. And the people that seen and the people that know, they know. But you gotta come to a point where it's like where it's not like confidential anymore. It's time to let the world
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I mean, what do you have coming up now? I mean, and how active do you want to be? Because you did say you want to be active. I seen what's his name? The kid from Abdullah Mason. He fought 7 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you're interested in doing? Getting more? Because Abdullah seems like he's on every fight card. Kamaru Moten, but of course he's with Mayweather. How active do you want to get at 130 right now?
I want to be active like that too, man. Them guys, they blessed. They got a different situation. You know what I mean? Like my situation different, so I gotta thug it out how I thug it out in my situation and make it happen how I make it
Mm,
happen. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, it's tough for my end. You got to lock down a lot of things when it come down to you a free agent. You know what I mean? You got to lock down a lot of things. And it's all good. Ain't no cries, no weeps, no tears over here. But
mm.
I would like for it to be different for me to get step in the ring more. You know what I mean? But all that stuff, it's definitely coming. You know what I mean? Cause we had talks with a lot of people, but that stuff is definitely coming, man. I like to be like that.
No, absolutely. And I want to see you get your opportunity because at the end of the day, people don't realize how difficult it is to crack into this industry.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the right people behind you. Some people get bypassed because of the relationship. So I
Yeah,
definitely want to see. And again, there's a lot of smoke at 130.
it is.
We going up to 135. We already know who's up there with the money.
Yeah.
Uh, you're 24 years old. Yeah, you just moved up to 130. What made you jump from 126 to 130?
I started my pro career at 122. You know,
Oh,
what I mean?
okay.
Yeah, I started at 22, then 26, 130. My body just developing. You know what I mean? As I'm getting older and stuff, my body developing and stuff, and don't want to risk no health injuries from succumbing myself all the way to 126. You know what I mean? Because can I make it? Can I go and touch the scale and say 126? Yes, I can. But would I feel good? No, I won't. You know what I mean? I won't feel good. Then I have to perform, and then it's contact sport. Losing all the fluid in your brain, and people looking for a certain performance. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel better at 130. Feel more full, more developed at 130. So that's the weight that I'm gonna tell that for right now until it's time for me to go up some more.
It's kind of crazy because people kind of downplay the weight cut situation, and weight cut is very, very dangerous, even to the point where, uh, you know, what happened with Ryan and Devin last year and whatnot. But how difficult is it to stay at the weight that you want to maintain? Like, I don't think people actually understand the process of the weight cut, and especially if you can't fully focus on that. How difficult is it to stay focused and to make that cut?
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult part of the sport. Definitely a difficult part of the sport, rough part of the sport. Because people, the outside, they always have stuff to say. Oh, you're not disciplined, you're not this, you're not that. But you gotta understand that these fighters are
Oh,
these fighters are grown men.
yep.
You know what I mean? Train every single day
Mhm.
as they should. And if you stand, at a point in time, like your body just changes. Your body don't stay the same like it was before. Same thing like me. I'm in the gym all the time. I'm training all the time. You're a man at the end of the day. You're not walking around. Let's say if somebody, he's fighting at 160, he's not walking around at 160. He may be walking around at 170, even just losing 10 pounds. It's a tough sport. It's a tough part of the game,
Yeah.
but it's part of the job. You know what I mean? It's a part of the job. This is what we signed up for. So like no excuses or none of that stuff. This is what we signed up for. We know it's a bit discomfort. It's a bit discomfort. You really don't get nothing from comfortability. So you got to be ready for that. You got to be prepared for that. It's just a part of the game, man. But it is an uncomfortable part of the sport.
I'm gonna end it with this. Who do you want to see right now? 130 pounds, 130 pounds right now. Who is your if you had your choice right now, five guys to fight coming up next? Who do you want to fight? And part two, do you feel like anybody's ducking you? And if you want to name them, please.
No, I don't feel like nobody ducking me. One thing about it, they sleep, so I just gotta wake them up. You know what I mean? I don't feel like nobody ducking me. I just know they sleep, so I gotta wake them up. And then, like I say, I see any one of them, like you say, Oscar Wilde, Stephen Fulton. You know what I mean? Stephen Fulton, Oceanique Foster, Remy Ford. You know what I mean? I see them. You know what I mean? I see them. You know what I mean? Like it's no ducking over here. You know what I mean? There's no ducking over here and stuff like that. Everything just gotta make sense. You know what I mean? Everything just gotta make sense. Y'all want somebody to fight a big fight or whatever like that, pay me. You know what I'm saying? It gotta make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? It gotta make sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them fighters that's just like coming with nothing and stuff like that. I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, I know what I done did, I know my accomplishments and stuff like that. Like I said, they sleeping, so we just gotta wake them up. That's it. And once they woke, they woke. You know what I mean? That's it.
No, I definitely wish the best for you, man. I'm definitely tuned in. I would love to. I mean, when you get your next fight, please let me know. I definitely want to be tuned in. Um, and again, I wish you the best of luck because you are in a very tough division.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
just stay focused, man. I appreciate you, bro.
No, I appreciate you, man. The division is very tough. Like I be telling people, man, at the end of the day, in boxing, every division tough. You dig what I'm saying? Every division tough, man. You got to be ready to step down whatever division you in. Because if you ain't ready to step down, you better lay down. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you, man. Y'all, everybody who tuning in, follow me on all platforms. My name is Trapp, Thereal. Period Trapp, the real trap. That's me. My music on all platforms. The real trap. Tap in with me. I ain't going nowhere. I'm here
Wait,
to.
hold on, you're an artist too. Hold on, we ain't gonna bypass that. Are
Yeah,
you a rapper too?
yeah.
Oh,
That's what I say. I make music and all that, man. So I don't gotta be sold.
yeah,
You know, I don't gotta be sold, man. Like I am the ticket. That's why I say they sleeping right now, but they gonna wake up. And I ain't talking about no artists like no Adrian Bona. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no artists like no, these goofies that Colbert.
yeah,
Colbert. From New York and stuff. My dude. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I do this for real, for real. And like Roy Jones when he's on MTV can't be touched,
yeah,
can't stop, can't be moved. And we make real music over here. It's talent coming from South Florida. So
yeah.
I got to put on from where I'm from, man. It's hard, but I guess if it was easy, it ain't worth having, right?
That is a fact. That is a fact. But again, man, I appreciate you, dog. Um, do what you got to do. You
For
got my
sure.
contact, man. Hit me up anytime, brother. We here. We lit.
I appreciate you, Mr. Wine. Nah, 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 nah. Yep, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
My guy, appreciate you. That was my guy, Dominique Trapp Francis. That was a dope interview, man. Love hearing. I love seeing it come up. I love seeing guys um, achieve their dreams. And if I can help with that, I'm all in. Again, it's your boy Norbs. This is a special show tonight. I'll be back tomorrow or today. I keep saying tonight. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock with my co-host Christine. Make sure you support this young man. Make sure you support the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button. It's your boy Norbs. You watching the fight? Oh, what time is the fight? I totally forgot about it anyway. I'm not gonna lie, I am like totally like boxed out, if that makes any sense. Like I don't want to see no more boxing this weekend. Like I had like a million calls. Crawford's gonna kill Canelo in September. He's gonna dance and he's gonna do a routine. I'm like, bro, I don't want to fucking hear this right now. I just don't want to hear this shit right now. But I'm gonna definitely tune in. I don't know what time the fight is, but I'm gonna try to tune in. But on that note, guys, tomorrow morning, make sure you tune in. Make sure you share, like, hit the notification button. Let's all get to it. It's your boy Norms, and we are out.